Hey y'all. So today I want to talk about, the top things that insurance companies don't tell you. I really feel like insurance companies naturally get a bad rep. Um, and that's because, you know, most people are just aware of the denial pieces, the negative pieces. Oh, they take your premium just so they can deny your claim. And there's rules to it all. Um, an insurance company is just following the rules of the book. They are just paying or denying per what the policy says. There is no ill intent. It is not personal. It is strictly business. And I know that's hard to hear, right? Because you think about somebody losing their life, um, whether the person was elderly or it was a sudden death, and immediately you feel for the family. You you know are sympathetic, but from the company's perspective, they take the role of empathy, and they still have a job to do at the end of the day. But I will say that, after being in the industry for a decade, I have seen a lot of things, a lot of things that I think that they should disclose. And so, being the person who has been on the other side of paying and denying millions of dollars worth of claims, I think that I am qualified to share this information with you, um, and just be that educational piece for you. And so today I want to talk about um, the free additional benefits that an insurance company does not share ahead of time. So, the first free benefit is free grief counseling. And this is something that many insurance companies offer. A lot of times, unfortunately, it doesn't come up in conversation unless someone has shown just complete distraught with with the insurance company's customer service team, or the analyst that they've been assigned to, unless that person deeply feels like, okay, this person is really having a hard time and I want to connect them with our grief counseling department. That is one way, but it is not always offered to everyone verbally. It's definitely something that is in paper. It comes in the mail. A lot of times it may come with documents if additional information is needed, or if it could come with your actual insurance payout check to let you know that grief counseling is available. Another form is by request. So if family or relatives have called in and requested grief counseling, then the information is sent to them. But a lot of people don't know about this service because it's not advertised, or it's hidden in writing, and we know how we don't like to read or skim through in this fast-paced world. We are not taking the time to read every detail in every sentence, and that's how things fall through the cracks. And so I would recommend you share this benefit with your family and friends just to make them aware of that. The second item that is free, a part of your free benefits for already having life insurance, is free tuition for minors. Now, this is a big one that many families are just like amazed by. Um, and this is another thing that is not advertised. And I think there's reason for that. So, if someone passes away and they have minor children, what is extended to the family or the caretaker of that child are the resources and pamphlets that will pay for a minor child's tuition. It could be if your child is in private school, they could be, in elementary school and it'd be a private um, institution that they go to, or just a private school, or as most assume, it could be if your child is in college and they are a minor. I believe there is a threshold. I don't recall what that amount is. And I know it is, they will pay a certain amount until that child is of age. And so, God forbid your child is very young, they're in elementary school, they're in middle school, but they attend private university. They will pay a certain amount every year through that child's college years. And so that's a huge benefit that many people don't know about. The hope is, that they don't have to use that benefit often. It's an unfortunate thing to lose anyone, but for a minor child to lose their parents, that's a big blow. And so that is also another free benefit. Again, they don't talk about it, but I think that that's something that everyone should be made aware of, just because when you are planning, when you are putting a plan in place, which I believe every parent should have one, you're saying who gets what and how funds should be used and how things should be allocated. If you create a trust and you have a minor child, you can put in that trust, I want my child to receive, for example, $5,000 every 5 years until they are 25. You can really write whatever you want in there. But if you are aware of that benefit, you can definitely include that in your trust and your estate planning. That gives people clear direction on how to use those funds. And the third and final benefit that insurance companies have that they don't advertise, or many people just don't know about it, is accidental coverage. Now, accidental coverage is a free benefit that's embedded in your life insurance in the event that a death is caused by an accident. And so that could be a car accident, it could be an accident on the job, whatever is ruled as an accident based off of the manner of death on a death certificate. And even then, when those deaths take place, it's kind of verified, which means the analyst then has to speak with the medical examiner. If there were police involved in the investigation, an analyst would call and speak with the police detective to kind of get details around it to confirm, in fact, that the death was ruled an accident. And so once that is confirmed, what happens is an insurance company will pay the life insurance. For example, say the life insurance is $100,000. The insurance company is going to pay that $100,000. But now that they've confirmed that the death was ruled an accident, and it checks all the boxes, because there are stipulations even to that, and if it checks all the boxes, then your beneficiary is going to receive $200,000. They're going to receive $100,000 for life insurance, and then they're going to receive a separate check for another $100,000 for accidental death benefit. There will be two separate checks. Usually it is not like one check for $200,000 or for the total amount. It is going to be two separate checks because they have to code it differently. That's really the real reason. And so, speaking of accidental deaths, I really wanted to just briefly talk about, the accident with the plane crash on this week. I believe it's American Airlines. And first, I just want to extend my condolences. Like, my heart goes out to all the families that are affected by that. It's a really sad situation because, it was an accident. And when I read the reports of people that were on the flight, I believe it was 67 people, there were a lot of young people on that plane. I'm talking real young. Like, the youngest I saw was 8 years old. There was I believe a skating team on there from Boston, and they were 8, they were 12, a lot of preteens and teenagers. One of the flight attendants was the same age as me, 34, and it's really sad. She was a mother of 2 minor children. And so, again, my heart goes out to the families. But in reading that, I came across a GoFundMe account that was created by somebody affected. And I always encourage people to have some form of life insurance to eliminate doing the GoFundMes, raising money, cooking dinners, all that people typically do just for burial costs. But if you have to do that, then you do what you have to do, right? In looking at this GoFundMe account, what stood out to me the most was the ask, the amount that they were asking for. Typically, when I see GoFundMe accounts, they are asking for, a couple $1,000s, $10,000, $15,000, maybe even less. And the assumption is, that's for burial costs because this person had no life insurance. This ask was 6 figures. And it was multiple 6 figures. And I couldn't help but be a little bothered by that, if I'm being honest. And when I thought about it, I did consider, they could have children. They could have, there's so many different factors, right, in why someone is making an ask for a certain amount. And you put an amount there, and the hope is to obviously reach that goal or get very close to it. But in thinking about this and trying to really be positive, because you never know someone's situation, I couldn't help but think about the importance of people having enough life insurance for the future. It's unfortunate because many people have life insurance just to bury them. I just need enough to put me in the ground. I just need enough to handle final expenses. I'm not trying to make anybody rich. All that. But it's important to know that the life insurance that maybe your employer gives you, or a $10,000 policy, $20,000 policy, is going to be just that. It's going to be enough for burial, and maybe somebody will get a little refund. But you really have to factor so many different things in, especially when you have minor children, especially when you have, debt, a home. If this person was a parent and maybe they had multiple children, the idea is there enough money to maintain these kids' lifestyles? Will they need to be uprooted from the home they know, the school they know, the state they know, and be relocated to someplace more affordable to whoever will be their caretaker at this point? Will that caretaker now need to go and get a second or third job just to care for their new situation, just to now raise these children? And so people don't think about that. And if you have a $20,000 policy or even a one-time salary life insurance policy through your employer, that's not going to be enough to maintain your lifestyle, the lifestyle of your children. Because if that was the case, we could work for 1 year and quit and be good, right? Live off that. Can't do it. And so even though, originally I didn't think that the asking amount was appropriate, I do think that whoever the beneficiary is, whoever created this GoFundMe account, is really trying to plan for the future. It goes beyond the burial costs of their loved ones. It goes beyond a decent funeral. It's really about what the future looks like for whoever this person left behind. And so I really encourage you to assess your life insurance. Make sure that what you have is enough to cover everything. Whether you have minor children, whether you have adult children, whether you have day-to-day expenses, whether you have a home, all those things need to be factored in, because all of those things have to be accounted for. And the hope is that there is clarity when the time comes for you, so that your family is well equipped, they are knowledgeable of where everything is, and they are privy to your final wishes. Okay, make sure you guys subscribe. I will continue to share some of the top things that insurance companies aren't telling you, and you don't want to miss this. Take care.